And let's talk about this new Gen Z poll that has come out. So apparently, it said that more than half of the young people watch no traditional broadcast TV in a typical week, and tends to focus wholeheartedly more on TikTok and YouTube than any other conglomerate. Which I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, who didn't know that there were more people, especially this younger generation, that spends more time getting their information from social media platforms like YouTube and TikTok than they would from linear television. Like, I could have told you that. But let's get into the story. So now, shout out to Variety for this story, by the way. Now, according to Activate Consulting's Technology and Media Outlook 2026, which was unveiled by CEO Michael Wolff at the Wall Street Journal Tech Live event on Wednesday, 43% of Gen Z is opting for YouTube and TikTok for their media and news consumption. Sidebar, those are two actual conglomerates I post a lot of my information to. Like TikTok, I cannot tell you, like when I post videos and stuff on there, TikTok, I get way more views than I would on any other conglomerate, especially like Instagram and stuff, which is why I don't waste my time with Instagram. I have it. I usually just post things in my story, but for the most part, I don't feel like I get enough eyes on Instagram. But when I post things on TikTok, I get a lot of comments, I get a lot of get a lot of likes and all of that stuff. And on YouTube, of course, with me doing the live stream, depending on the topic, and the algorithm, when it's not algorithming and it wants to cooperate, I post segments of some of the topics that I put on the show up there, and it gets numbers depending on the type of topic that's at hand. Now, per the same survey, the popularity of micro dramas, one of the latest trends on those platforms, consisting of 1 to 2 minute scripted episodes of an ongoing storyline, has been increasing at a fast rate, with 28 million U.S. adults, 52% aged 18 to 34, reportedly watching that new form of content. Additional findings include projections for global internet and media revenue to increase by 388 billion by 2029, while average daily time spent streaming video will climb to 4 hours and 8 minutes as time spent. Wait, hold on. I gotta go back on that. It said while average daily time spent streaming video will climb to 4 hours and 8 minutes, as time spent watching traditional TV is set to collapse to just 1 hour and 17 minutes. Well, I think it's because traditional TV is like with the ads and everything else that goes on in there, people lose their interest. But I think when, like, for example, when I do this show, sometimes the show ends up being 4 hours, sometimes the show ends up 3 hours. I'm sure based off of today's show, because this is a live stream and I'm looking at the time, it's been 2 hours and 50 minutes that I've been streaming live doing this show with all the topics that I have. We're going to go over the 3 hour mark. And I think that when they always say that people's mind attention spans are pretty much messed up, everything in certain cases, like with the micro dramas, I have caught a couple of micro dramas. I have to say, some of them are relatively interesting. Wish I could be able to take something and write a storyline in like a minute and then post it up, and that's good enough. What's gonna happen in the next episode? Like me, I'm old school in that way of like, I like a traditional TV show that, I could just binge. I'm not all about the once a week thing. My attention span don't go like that no more. Excuse me. Although Welcome to Dairy, I am doing that week to week. Normally, when it comes to shows, I do binge. Like I wait until the end of the season and I binge it, which is why I think I kind of like the Netflix motto. In this, I say, not when you just throw up the whole season. I like them breaking up the season. So it's like 3 episodes this month and then 3 episodes another month, and then we get the finale in a couple of weeks. Excuse me. So I like the idea of them doing that. And I think more shows should do that. Release a couple episodes at a time and then just break it up into different formats. Now, Um, then it's additional findings include projections for global internet and media revenue to increase by. Oh, okay, I read that part already. Activate estimates that as a result, streaming revenues from ads and subscriptions will grow 18 to 19% annually, while traditional TV revenues will fall 4 to 6% year to year. According to the consulting firm's report, people are currently living a 32-hour, 17-minute day by multitasking throughout their day, their daily routine online, and consumers spend over 13 hours on media. Child, y'all been here telling my business because I definitely spend like a lot of times when I look, I have on my phone where it lets you know like how many times you actually spend on like your social media platforms. Spend a lot of time on like looking, Googling, schmoogling, and going and looking at entertainment based stuff because, of course, me doing this show, I'm always constantly doing research. I'm always constantly looking for interesting stories to talk about on this show and that sort of thing. I don't only just want to do celebrity news and gossip. Just like with this thing, I think it's relatively interesting to talk about this because it lets us know, based on the polls, um, how long do people spend on, average a day on consuming entertainment. And I do feel like linear television, corporate media based TV is going down the tubes. And people like getting their entertainment from people like myself who get on here and we're just very, you know, to the point where the stuff that we say, we're not really just like cucking our mouths and we cussing. I'm really bringing you all this information, giving our full opinion, and it's not based off of what some sponsor or whatever is telling me to say. This is actually stuff or that I'm thinking about as I'm going through these topics when I'm saying in my own freaking opinion. And if people want to actually send in like super stickers, super chats, whatever the case is, those are welcome. And there's ways that we're providing the information because people are just not really liking the lack of diverse voices, especially in media, in scripted television. So it's like the old guard is going down the toilet. So Activate estimates that as a result, streaming revenues, they're saying like, yeah, as a subscription, we all knew that was growing. Wait, some people are complaining that streaming service, streaming services are getting even just as expensive, if not more expensive than a regular cable bill. So, according to the consulting firm's report, people are currently living a 32-hour, 17-minute day by multitasking throughout their daily routine online, and consumers spend over 13 hours on media daily by utilizing various social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. To capitalize on this trend, companies like Amazon are moving into creating more video content alongside streaming services like Spotify moving to create audiobooks. And then we also hear there was a story going around that Netflix is getting interested in jumping in the podcast space. So it seems like, yeah, a lot of these companies are jumping into looking for a lot of these personalities to come on and jump into the podcast space and then jump into all these different things. And I was gonna say, boy, oh, there's someone Spotify is moving into creating audiobooks. Well, I don't know. I don't particularly care for Spotify. And Amazon been had audiobooks. So y'all a little late with that. But it'll be interesting to see like what Amazon is going to do in regards to creating more video content. I know they've been content. I know they've been talking about buying up a lot of IPs. Like we have Masters of the Universe and so many other different movies and stuff coming out. But it'll be interesting to see like what direction they plan on going in regards to the whole video content space. But yeah, this is where we are right now. I don't necessarily know how I feel about the whole micro drama thing because this whole 30-second to a minute episodes of a show, it's like, no, I need full on plot. I need a full on script. I need to see like if you want to do something 10, 15, 20 minutes, like I've watched YouTube videos where they do that, where they have like series that are like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever the case is. If y'all want to do something like that, that's cool. But apparently y'all minds is all that bad that y'all doing a whole micro drama thing. Or yeah, the whole micro drama situation. Like I just don't get that. Even though I've watched a couple of them and yeah, they're entertaining. But and there's some people out there that are good at that, but I hope that they don't just think that that's all they can do. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding that? Yes, how 43% of Gen Z prefer getting their information from YouTube and TikTok versus traditional TV. Of course, the old fuddy duddies are going to have a problem with it. Like if they talked about this on The View tomorrow, you already know them old bros going to thumb their nose at that situation and make it seem like TikTok and YouTube or whatever the case is negative or is bad. It depends on the situation. But that's like with anything that comes out, even with AI, there's good things about it and then there's negative things about it. Same thing with YouTube and TikTok. I feel like if you're gonna get in this space of being a pundit and you're gonna be out here providing people with information, you need to give people the right information. You can't go off vibes. You can't go off just like saying stuff because you want to indoctrinate people into your stupid ideologies. You got to really come up here with the facts and the information and the data when you're taking on certain topics. And you just can't be going off your damn vibes and emotion. So let me know what you guys think of this team in the comments down below.